Losing a home, heirlooms, sometimes everything you have, and the unthinkable, a loved one in a fire, can cause significant distress. If you or family or friend has suffered loss from the fires burning in our area, we've brought in some help for you this morning. Joining us is Krista Dancy, a therapist with the California Association of Marriage and Family. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
My husband's a firefighter, so we greatly support the Firefighters Burn Institute. And yes, loss and tragedy can lead to stress, but in talking to the victims of fire, there's something unique about suffering a loss from a fire that makes this more significant sometimes. It adds on a different layer. Sometimes that's of shock.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're saying, it's not something you can prepare for.
Right.
It's not something you know is happening. And often in a fire like this, maybe you have seconds or minutes to take in that information, take what you can, and leave. And you come home to discover there's nothing left. There's just no place to put that. It's not something we see happening often. It's not something you can ever mentally or emotionally prepare for.
Yeah, you think to yourself, this can't happen to me. This can't possibly happen to me, so you don't often prepare. So what are some of the self-help things people can do if they are experiencing a loss from a fire?
Yeah, so I think there's three categories we can put that in. The first one is the sooner we can get them connected to the physical comfort. So home-like place, a comfortable bed, food and shelter. The faster we can get people out of survival mode, the better they're going to do in the long term. Secondly, we want to connect them to other fire survivors. We want to connect them to other people who are going through the same thing. That's incredibly healing. It helps them not feel so isolated in their experiences. And then this is where we come in the third one. Anytime they can connect with people in a safe space to talk, to process, to express exactly how it's affecting them, the sooner they can do that, research shows, the better they do in the long term.
So we're kind of gearing some of those tips more for adults. What can adults do to help children who are also trying to cope and suffer from a loss of fires? We've seen entire families displaced from their homes.
Yeah, absolutely. And children do cope with loss differently. Some of the things that we can do to help them cope is the sooner we can get them into routine, the better. So they're in an unfamiliar environment. Everything is transitional and will be for a while. So the sooner we can get them into something familiar, the sooner they can start being the great naturally resilient little beings that they are.
Sure.
Another way we can do that is through what we would call a transitional object. So especially if they've lost everything, it becomes really important for children to have that comfort object. It might be a picture, it might be a stuffed animal, but something that they can hold on to physically that makes them feel comfortable and safe. And then the third one is, again, the adults in their life. The better that they can do of creating a safe space for expression. Children are natural expressors through art, through play, and through conversation. So the sooner we can let them do that, the better.
So that's kind of a good tip as people give and donate to the victims. Give some paper, some pencils, some basic needs for children.
Absolutely.
A lot of them have not been able to return to school, although some have. So that's a good thing as well as far as getting back into that routine.
Absolutely.
Some great tips. Appreciate that. Also, when do you know it's finally that time that you need to seek some professional help, that you are just not making it on your own, or you're just not able to help your child kind of express and get over that hump and return to things as normal?
So in the beginning, I like to say you're just having a normal reaction to an abnormal circumstance. It's normal to be distressed when you lose your home in a fire. You know that it's going into territory where you need more support when you start to find yourself having repetition. So repetitive dreams, repetitive flashbacks, fixating on it, and you're not able to move forward. And then that's when it's time to really call in for other resources like a therapist.
Sure, and I think that people should also remember it's okay to lean on family and friends when you need it. You know, I mean, we tend to, I'm going to deal with this on my own.
That community support is so important.
Absolutely, and you are certainly a part of that community support. Krista Dancy, therapist with California Association of Marriage and Family. Thank you so much.